Hello everyone, welcome to Solid Damdrin Games. Today we're going to kick off a Let's Play of RimWorld. Join me as we learn the ins and outs of this game. So we're going to start off today with the new colony. We'll set up our world and get everything going. I'm going to go with Crash Landed. My favorite is actually the Rich Explorer or Naked Brutality, but I'm going to start off with the Crash Landed series. It starts you just a little bit further down into the game and kind of get you going off on a good foot. For this first series, I want to do Cassandra Classic, and I'm most comfortable with Adventure Story. I would like to see me progress down through the different ones as I get better, but that's what I'm going to start with. And reloading any time just allows me to reset if something happens that maybe breaks the game or something of that nature. I can reload to a point when I have saved. I autosave every day in game, and typically that works out pretty well for me, but I will try to be honest with you about whether or not I've reloaded the game. So I'm going to put in my name as the seed. I usually go with 30% just to keep things simple on my computer, and I like to add in this cannibal here, and then I keep everything in the normal. I do like to increase rainfall sometimes because it gives you slightly different water amount across your globe or across your world. And then typically what I do is I'll click a location and I get this little bar up here by turning on the terrain. And based on kind of what I have here, basically what I'm doing is I'm looking at this area here for stone types. And normally I will hit this until I get the word granite. And once I have the word granite, I'm happy to go with whatever this is. So zooming in here, kind of just look around a little bit. Looks like we've got two factions that are opposed to us, are the closest. We are in a flat that's right in the middle of a bunch of hills and mountains and stuff, which means travel in and out of here is going to be kind of difficult. Although if I wanted to go kind of this direction up to the road, you might go this way. So the point of this is that caravans may be a little difficult to get out of here. So we may not caravan a whole lot in the beginning anyways. Being it's a desert, it wants to be hot. And maybe cold. So basically we get the 30 to 60 days, so it's not a year-round growing zone. And I have mine set to Fahrenheit. Let me know in the comments if you are good with Fahrenheit, if you prefer to have Celsius, that sort of thing. And I will also preface this to say that I typically play with mods, and usually a lot of them. Today I'm not. I'm going to start off with a completely vanilla. I've got ideology as well as royalty DLCs, but I'm going to just play with and just kind of see what my characters are like and just kind of play based on what they are. But I want to push the techno-utopians. I wanted to give this a try. So each person is part of a greater whole. People should work to play their part and help the group. And then the transhumanist is they want to add technology to their bodies. So I think that's just kind of a cool. So their religion or ideology is around the idea that they want to add technical body parts, and then that they all want to work together. Everything is for the entire group. So let's take a look. So typically on this I try to just stick with these. Now I will randomize if I feel like everything is, I just don't want to work with it. But in general I'm looking at health and traits, and then this bar down here. That's typically what I look at. And I want to have cooking and plants. With these particular ones, construction and mining are going to be very important. And even intellectual to get up to the point where we can make those things, but those are kind of secondary goals in our setup here. So looking at that, we are called the collective theonomy. So we'll see maybe what that means. As we click here, we can see kind of our different things. Our deity is Christ Lord. We look at body modification. We like it. In fact, we want it. They want age reversal, so if we can get to the point where we can use the Biosculptor mod or pod and then bring the age back down for people so they don't die. Oh, and so there's a time associated with biosculpting. We'll get into that later and we'll see some of that. Neural supercharge. They can get these neural implants that allow them to get better at things, and then they sleep faster. So that's pretty cool. We've got a leader, a moral guide, and a research specialist. We've got these different rituals. Let's see, some buildings and things that we can make, and then relics that we could quest for and that sort of thing. And they want everybody to wear a broad wrap. So we'll close that, and if you see, everybody who starts off is wearing a broad wrap, because that's part of our collective theonomy. So let's look. Caring, social, that's fine. In fact, I really like this person. Depending on what else we have. 19, that's pretty cool. It means they haven't gotten to the next part of their backstory, so they're going to be a little young. But I'm okay if we have one person that can't do medical social. That's not a problem. Okay, coma child, gigolo. I'm telling you, this is probably not going to work with all these negatives. I probably will pull them out. I usually drop them down if I don't like that. Look at this. Addicted to alcohol, not a big deal. Cataract. I mean, it's a big deal, but I think it's something I'd be willing to work with. Cataract gives you how well your body parts work. So that eye, he doesn't see very well. Global work speed, I actually kind of like this. Kind, crafting, mining, okay. Honestly, this looks really good. There's some things here to deal with, but I'm okay with dealing with some things. So let's see if we can find a cook. Okay, that's a cook. That's a cook with plants and animals. I'm kind of liking this person. Has a chemical interest. And gets hungry faster. I'm looking for cooking and plants, so ambrosia addiction, cannibal. Okay, I think, which one was it? The Cave World Tunneler? Intellectual crafting, underground gourmand, wimp. Wimp is not great, but it has mining, cooking, not very good on plants. Okay, that's better than the gigolo. I don't like the lack of, so I'm kind of two minds. I would say either this one or that one. Let's take a look at intellectual. We already have someone with a 6. That's interesting. So there's Eric Gonzalez and Edward Gonzalez. So this one's called Gonzalez and that one's called Edward. So that's going to be confusing. Old man. So that could be an issue. You know what? What if we go... How bad do we look if we do that? Honestly, not bad. Construction's kind of low. Mining I'm happy with. Plants I'm happy with. Medical I'm happy with. We have some good. Has a bad back here. That's not great. But I think I'd be happy enough with all of this. A careful shooter that's good at melee. That's interesting. Or would prefer to do melee. So we're going to try this. We'll give this a start. And here we kick off. So I typically have it come up to a pause screen like this, and we're going to bring this up, let them land, and then I will pause it. I hope to do down the road a pause, no pause as well, but I've got a little work to do on my abilities with this game before I feel like I want to do that. Okay, so we're in the middle of the map here. We've actually got quite a bit of, considering this was a flat. Granite everywhere is good. We've got a little bit of marble, which is great for beauty. And then we've got these machines down here, which are really just for looks. We've got some packaged survival meals down here. That's pretty good. To look around just a little bit before I settle in just to kind of understand. So if we turn on this right here, you can kind of see where growing is going to happen. So we have no dark green, which is pretty normal on a map like this, a desert map. But right where we started is almost perfect. We're right here by this ancient danger, so we'll encounter that at some point. But I don't typically crack those open immediately. There is this like pre-built structure made of steel walls that would be really nice to tear down, and we'd have quite a bit of steel to start with, although we come with this particular one, you end up with quite a bit of steel to begin with anyways. If I double click this, you can see how much of that particular resource I've got. I've got 30 medicine, some packaged survival meals here as well. So I'm in pretty good shape to start off with. This is a nice growing zone, so I may try to set up nearish to here. Just thinking for a second. I'm kind of thinking maybe to start off here. I don't remember if I ended up with any of the undergrounders. Let's double check that. Already I've forgotten. So using this up here, yeah, so I did end up with one undergrounder. So this person, she's going to want to stay inside underground, and I think we'll be in pretty good shape there. So, okay, let's set up our stockpile. So at this point I'm going to unpause, go here and right click on, oops, wrong one, right click on the forbid and unforbid all items. So that'll grab all this stuff, including these things down over here that we had talked about. Of course we're going to get these pop-ups, that's fine. Let's zone out our stockpile. That's not really enough, but I'm going to throw up a dumping stockpile, something like that, and I like to immediately change this so that I don't want to dump corpses here right now. I just want to dump the chunks, and I like to dump steel. That can be outside. These other things that I'm going to put in here can't actually be outside, so we're going to make sure we have that. Now, you start with a fairly good amount of wood. 300 wood, but on this map wood is going to be a challenge for us. If you look here, you're not seeing any trees. We've got the anima tree, which my guys won't care anything about, so I guess we could take that down. We've got some cacti, which will give us some wood, but we want to wait till it's fully grown before we do that. More cactus here and stuff. So something I'm thinking right now is we probably want to hit the growing zone pretty quickly, and we want to research into tree sowing in the not too distant future. It's not priority number 1. It's not even priority number 3 right now. I like to get a good amount of growing, but not too much, so that our growing person doesn't spend our entire life putting in what we've asked for. And then I'm also going to ask for things maybe we can't even build. So I like to hit that with the heal root first. Can't grow it yet. That's okay. They will as soon as we can. And the other thing I grow is cotton, and sometimes they can't grow that. So I'm going to throw up the rice plants. They grow faster. So if you look at this and then you hit the eye here, you've got the rice plant or the potato plant, which is what they start you with. So potato plants, if you look, it takes 46 days. And then here, if you do this, 3 days to grow that, and the rice plants and potato plants, it takes 5.8 days. So, and then out of it, these other numbers are how long it will last without being harvested, so if you just don't pick them, and then how much you get out of it. So I like to start with rice, get us started, get some food in hand, especially when we don't have a lot of animals. So this is kind of our start off for today. Let's see, we want to take a look at our needs. And I'm used to having this stuff down here. So this guy is our really good shooter. That's what I thought. So we're going to have him equip that. And I'm holding down shift. So whenever he's done with whatever he's doing, which is at this point delivering stuff over here, he'll then grab it. She is shooting in melee. So I'm actually going to put this person as melee. And then I want her to learn that. So actually I went ahead and did, I'm going to have him equip his melee weapon very soon. Now our pony over here, male stallion, we can train it only to keep it tame. It doesn't do anything because if you look at horses and you come down near the bottom, you get some of the stats. So one of them is the manual handling skill, so your ability to work with the animals. And then there's something like intelligence or something. Wildness is how quickly they want to return to the wild. It is here somewhere. Oh yeah, trainability, there you go. So it can't be taught anything, basically. It doesn't have the mental aptitude. Dogs and stuff, you can teach them and they'll like haul stuff around, or you can send them off to fight. Or if we could bring in this iguana and do stuff, we could potentially train it to fight for us as well. So there's different things you can do. They will lay eggs, so that's one way. If you could capture, pin this, collect the eggs with a male and female, they will fertilize the eggs, and then we would have more, and then we could have iguana meat forever. I don't know that I would want to eat iguana meat forever, but that's something you could do. I'm actually going to forbid the flak vest right now because I don't want anybody putting that on. It slows them down a little bit, and so I don't want to have that. Okay, so I'm talking quite a bit and not building, so a tip is if you right click you can see other things you can build, and then I'm going to place steel walls like this using the corner to reduce the amount of materials I need to have. And steel is way easier for me to get, if you look right here, than wood. So I'm happy to use steel. Look at all the steel I've got. So for now, I'm way happier to use steel than I am to use wood. Wood we're going to have to use to power things, and it deteriorates, and steel does not. So we're prioritizing this one for the steel, and hopefully we can also put some of these blocks and stuff that we'll build out of later. But for now I'm just trying to get some things down so we can start having some amount of protection. So let's throw up for now. Actually, let's not do that. Let's build a steel bed. And we'll actually build 3 of them. And for now I'm just going to do it like that, and then we can reinstall them where we want them to be finally, as I get into bedrooms and stuff like that. So I could see us putting maybe like a line through here to come out to this other side and start having some houses and stuff, or maybe even build houses out this direction. So letting the one undergrounder live inside the mountain is pretty good. Live and work inside the mountain, that'd be pretty good, but in general they want to I guess be kind of a part of everybody else. So these guys are all just going out and getting stuff, and now I want to start to look at what I can control and what I want them to do. So if we do that, we can look here at the work priorities. So by default it just puts in, well, you know, this person doesn't really want to do any of these things. He can do the smithing and the tailoring, but he's not the best at it. These people are better, that sort of thing. So it's auto doing this. And for right now, I'm okay with this. I'm going to leave this for just now. The schedule, so how long they sleep, and then what they do during the day. Did I end up with the... No, I did not. Okay. So there is a particular one that wants to work at night and sleep during the day. So we'll come back to that. So the other thing I like to do is really mess with this, and so I'm going to go to that pretty quickly here. So typically I set this, whoops, wrong side. I set the bottom to 51%. There's a mood penalty if they're wearing ratty clothes. And then I refuse them to wear tainted apparel. Okay, so that's usually what I do for that. For lavish, I typically go into meals. Nope, I go into raw food, meat, and turn off the meat. And I just double check to make sure there's no meats that are out of place, especially with mods. You can kind of get into eating stuff that, and then under animal products, you don't want them eating your fertilized eggs if you have any. So I usually turn that off as well. And that's just to kind of keep moods up. And then I'm going to put these to no drugs. And then this one, the social drugs one, with the chemical interest, they're going to ignore this if I set it to no drugs. So what I'm going to do is go in and edit, and so you'll see what they're going to do is, if they have an addiction, they're going to do that particular one. So our person that is mahogany here. So just has a chemical interest, doesn't even have a pre-existing fascination with anything. So for now, my plan is to not have anything available. So if I don't have any beer or I don't have any drugs available for them to use, then they won't use them. So basically here's my list of things that they could possibly use. I just don't want to have any of these around until I've dealt with their situation and I know that I can get them the right amount of stuff. So smoke leaf is probably the easiest one to keep them rationed on, in my opinion. You can grow it fairly easily, and then you just roll it, and you can set a time delay on it. So it looks like they made a bed and it's poor, because mahogany is probably not our best constructor at 4, at 3, and at 2. So they're the best constructor, they're just not very good at it. So they've given us a poor bed, which is okay to start with. Another poor bed, it's okay, I'll live with it. I know some people that min-max more than I do will destroy those beds and try again. The important thing to me right now is to get this rice planted and to get this growing zone over here planted. That way I can start to make clothing that will help with the hot or cold temperatures that may come. So with that, I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit so you guys can see kind of what I've done so far. Turn off this so you can see my growing zones, what I've kind of set up here, and I'm going to pause that. And we're going to end our video for today. I appreciate so much your joining me on this adventure. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Leave me any comments or suggestion, and just follow me or subscribe to see my other videos and stuff. Thanks. Have a good day. Bye.